Hey, everybody, it is Just Be a Man, and thanks for joining us. I am Chuck. I am today's host. I've got the usual cast of characters with me, my boys, Charles,
Peace.
Wayne,
What's going on?
Stefan.
Salute.
Oh, man, y'all know this character. And Mike. You there, brother? Today's topic is politics, and these guys know I'm a political nerd, So we're not gonna get too deep into it today, but we just want to talk about it. I mean, the state of the world today, the state of based on your interest, okay? But speaking of voting, how you guys voting this year, man? You guys gonna do it by mail? You gonna do it early voting, election day? Wayne, what about you? How you voting this year?
I think I kind of got a unique situation, but I'm actually voting by mail.
Okay.
I mean, I guess I could tell you why. So when I moved from my last residence, it's kind of complicated, but when I moved from my last residence, I had to use my forwarding address that I had in Maryland as a post office box.
Okay.
The address that I have here in Virginia isn't registered with the post office yet. So anyway, I'm voting in Maryland's bottom line by mail.
All right, Stefan, what about you, brother?
We're going to do early voting. We have the opportunity to do early voting here in Maryland. It starts October 26th. So we will be there either the 26th or the 27th. I believe it stops like 2 days prior to the actual 3 November, but definitely we're early voting.
Great, fantastic. Mike, what about you, brother?
We already sent ours in, man. We're balloting by mail.
Oh, okay. Congratulations. Did you no on your end, because you're in Connecticut. So are you having any issues
Right.
up there with mailboxes being removed or voter suppression or anything like that?
Well, it's funny you say that. I filled out the paperwork today, and I wanted to throw it in the mailbox, but she thinks that there's actually a direct box in front of the town hall. So I'm probably gonna take a look at that tomorrow.
Okay.
And if it is, I'm gonna throw it in there. If not, I'm just gonna go and throw it right in the mailbox around the corner. But I'd rather throw it directly in town hall so they can get it right away.
Okay. Or you can possibly take it to your local post office. Does that work for you guys up there?
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. My brother Charles, what about you?
My plan is to vote by mail. I'm going to trust the process and go ahead and get that ballot in.
Yeah, and a lot of people, I'm glad you said that about trusting the process, because a lot of people are concerned about voting by mail
Right.
because of the individual in there and that possible, you've heard the stories, I guess. In some areas, they've been removing ballot boxes, I guess, and they've been making it really hard for people to vote. So, if you're going to vote, take those things into consideration, folks, and govern yourselves accordingly. That's all I can really say. There's a lot on the line. There's a lot on the line of this election. For example, I think we were just talking about it a little while ago. Supreme Court. Supreme Court is a hot issue. And the Republicans right now, they're trying to kind of ram through, I guess, a nominee or a pick prior to the election. And in the prior election, when Obama was trying to put his there.
You gotta be fucking kidding me. Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Then everyone has to take a COVID test. And there is one senator that is trying to avoid taking a COVID test, which happens to be Lindsey Graham. So
Right.
we may not have a committee hearing tomorrow if those rules are upheld and saying, hey, everyone has to take a COVID test before you arrive in this hearing. So, hey, if we got to play politics the way the Republicans play it, so be it, whatever it takes.
Yeah, yeah. What about you, Charles?
I pretty much agree with what Stefan said. It's disheartening that everything is so political these days. Just depends
Yeah.
on who's in office, who puts forth the recommendation, etc. There's just two extreme viewpoints, and it
Mhm.
seems there's no longer a sense of folks being able to cross the other side of the aisle and
Correct.
Right.
have some real, true bipartisan dialogue to do the right thing on behalf of the nation. And I
Exactly.
think, if we can get back to that point in time, somehow, some way, I think this country would be so much better off than it is right now.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. As a matter of fact, let me read you something real quick. The you get the Republican Party, the GOP, and then you've got the Democratic Party. So here's the thing: the Republican Party, for the most part, is, even without reading, I can tell you they're for free markets. Lower taxes, capitalism, free trade, all of that, right? Democrats is we're for a lot of the same things, but more social things as well, equality, all those things. But here's the thing: it's kind of a if the Democrats and Republicans actually come together, they and when they start talking, they realize they've got more in common than they don't have in common.
Right.
But the other thing is, um, the parties kind of balance each other out. If they really sat down and talked about a lot of this stuff, and I can go on, and I'm gonna cut it short, but if they really sat down and talked, I mean, that's how you have lasting laws, and laws that are more fair when you two come together and you talk and you come to a mutual agreement. Unfortunately, what was happening during the Obama administration was they didn't want to talk, so Obama was forced to do a lot of stuff through I was going to say affirmative action, Lord,
Executive
through
orders.
executive order. Thank you. So when you do that, and when that's done, if your party doesn't stay in power, then the next party, when they come in, first thing they're going to do is to undo everything that was done by executive order. So that's my thing. The parties need to stop with all this, and they got to start to learn to talk together. And unfortunately, the one of the last people that was really a proponent of that system was John McCain, and he's passed away on the Republican side. So hopefully, with this new election and in the Senate and all that, we get some new folks in there, and everybody wants to kind of realize the last couple of years have been kind of screwed up, and maybe we can start to talk again. But moving on,
So Chuck,
sir.
I'm sorry, I was just going to make a quick comment. I
Mhm.
think that to Charles's point, and also to what you just said, the problem is that I think people are not looking to, these groups are not looking to help the people. I think
Mm.
that if one side said something, the other one is automatically against it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how good or bad it is. If someone had the cure for cancer, they'd stop it.
Hmm.
And that's the problem. It's not
Yeah.
about doing the job for the public. It's about being right and winning.
Yeah, and it's about money. If,
Absolutely. Bottom line.
yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, we could talk about that all day, but at the end of the day, especially in politics, unless they, follow the money, follow the money. That's what it all leads back to. A lot of these decisions that aren't being made and decisions that are being made. Look at the NRA, for example. We've been talking about gun control for how long? But a powerful organization like the NRA flooding the system with money, and by the system I mean lobbyists and whoever they have to say, hey, um, money talks. So that's another thing. We got to get money out of politics.
Hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that, brother.
Yes, indeed. So on the Democratic side, the nominee is Joe Biden. And he's received some criticism. Sure, he was the vice president of the United States. He served with the President Barack Obama, but he's up there in age. Is he fit to lead? People have questions. What do you guys think, Mike?
As far as Joe Biden's concerned, I think he's fit to lead to a certain point, but his age is a factor.
Mhm.
So I think if this goes the way, if it goes the way, we hope it would go, possibly, we'll see. We'll see how he stands up to the
Yeah.
test of time.
Yeah. Saffron, what do you think, brother?
Oh, no question, he's fit to lead. I had the opportunity to see him twice in Iraq, and this is a guy that will reach across not only aisle with
Mhm.
Republicans, but he will reach out to the world leaders that we have out there right now, because
Mhm.
many of the world leaders are still around or were around when he was vice president. Unfortunately, this current administration has tarnished our image with world leaders as well as citizens.
Mhm.
And I know Joe Biden will change that, or at least get us back in the right stance and spot within the world.
Mhm. What about you, Charles?
I don't have any questions about his ability to lead. I think just based on his track record, based on the years that he spent in politics, 42 years, the fact
Mhm.
that he's been the vice president, um, who helped turn around an economy. I think all those bode well for his leadership. So I don't have any concerns about his ability to stand the test of time, so to speak.
They called Joe Biden a walking gaff machine. Wayne, you don't have any issues with Joe Biden?
Oh, well, look. Yeah, I think my take's a little bit different than everybody else's. Now, I'm not saying that I don't think he has the ability but that age matters, right?
Mhm.
And so, I mean, look, he's the best thing out there. Point blank.
Right.
He's the best thing out there. But
Right.
78 years old, he's going to be the oldest person to be elected president ever.
Yep.
It's crazy to me, right? So to me, I mean, I wish him well,
Mhm.
but I think that age matters. And people who think it don't, we go talk to your 78-year-old grandfather.
But isn't there only like a 4-year difference between the two candidates?
That's
That's,
true.
I
that's
mean,
correct.
both are going to be the oldest sitting president.
Yes.
Whoever's inaugurated in January, February after the election, they will be the oldest sitting president. Either
That's
way,
correct.
whoever
Absolutely.
wins. Right.
Absolutely.
Mhm. Yeah. But Joe Biden is older. And I'll give my take on it. Listen, Joe Biden. Um, quick story. I'll try to make it as quick as possible. You guys, I used to be a police officer, and I used to also be the chairman of the FOP. I spent a lot of my time on Capitol Hill lobbying for police rights and police pay parity and stuff like that. I was up on Capitol Hill one day, and I was being escorted through to a session, and by some Capitol Hill police officers. And they stopped and said, "Hey, these guys are from, and they're here to sit in on this meeting and all stuff." And this guy just starts talking, starts rambling, and then he says, "You know what? You guys, if you're up here long enough, I want you to pay attention. I want you to listen to this guy speak. This guy up here on Capitol Hill is taking Capitol Hill by storm, and he's giving these congressmen and the people up here a fit. He is a real son of a bitch. I like this guy, and I think he's going to do great things on the Hill." That was Joe Biden talking about Barack Obama, um, then Senator Obama. To me, Joe Biden he's older. I still think he has his faculties about him. I think he can lead. But here, let me put my prognosticator's hat on. Here's what I believe is going to happen. I don't believe Joe Biden is going to finish out his term as president. I think what's going to happen is Joe Biden, for whatever reason, is either going to bow out gracefully, resign, whatever. And I think Kamala Harris is going to be the first female president of the United States. Um, and I think he's going to do that prior to reelection so that she can run for reelection. That's what I believe. I don't know why it would happen or why he would do it, but I think that's going to happen one way or the other. I think Kamala Harris is going to end up being the first Black female president of the United States. That's just my guess. Yeah, what do you guys think?
if I could real quick, I hear what you're saying, and I'm not doubting the outcome, the final outcome of that, but I'm not sure how it gets there. I'm not sure how it gets there.
Me either.
But yeah, this we on November 4th, our world's gonna change in
Yeah.
one way or the other, and you know, I can't wait to get there because need to know what's in front of us.
Yeah, I agree. I just don't see Joe Biden having the stamina to. He's got a lot of repairing to do, man. Stefan, to me, hit it right on the head, man. I mean, around the world, I mean, we got a lot of damage to repair. I just don't know if Joe Biden has the stamina for that at his age. He may, and I'm not trying to, discriminate against our seniors, but it just is what it is, right? Um, so excuse
You
me.
know, hey, but Chuck, I think what he'll do, and this is what made him so successful as a vice president, and made it a lot easier for Obama. Obama was the face, but Joe was the workman. I
He
think he'll
was
do. Yeah,
visionary.
I think he will send Senator Harris out to really repair a lot of things with a lot of nations. So I see her flying much more than him.
Mm-hmm.
He may stay here with the nation and work things domestically, but I see
Mm-hmm.
her out there. Also, I really firmly believe if we get a strong Secretary of State and a
Mm-hmm.
strong Secretary of Defense,
Mm-hmm.
that a lot of the repair will happen quickly. It should take maybe 3 to 6 months, as long as it shows that this staff is prepared. They want to work with world leaders. They want to work with world parliaments to make things right. And then also, if we gain control of the Senate, and I keep saying we, if the Democrats gain control of the Senate, then it'll show the world that, hey, our house is not completely out of order.
Yeah.
And I think that's when things will start to change.
I feel like the rest of the world is kind of just waiting us out. It's like, okay, the United States got this one wrong. This guy's going to be in there for 4 years. So we're just gonna have to wait until the United States gets it together. Is it me just thinking that? What do you think, Charles?
Well, I'm not overly convinced that we're going to have a change in the administration come election time.
Mhm.
Preferably that's the case. I mean, just to, take a step back for a second, I am not a registered Democrat. I am not a registered Republican. I'm a registered independent,
Mhm.
which means that I took that stance years ago because I didn't want any party taking my vote for granted.
Mhm.
Now, I do see Biden as the lesser of two evils. Now, my concern, quite frankly, based on your previous statements, I'm far less concerned about how the world is going to uh, view us and how things are going to change if Biden gets in.
Mhm.
What I'm more so concerned about is what's going to happen domestically within the United States, because there's so much divide right now. There's
Mhm.
racial tension. There are all these militia groups that are popping up. All
Mhm.
these things have happened as a reaction to what took place in the past. Make no, no bones about it, that the reason we're in the situation that we're in today, the reason Trump is in office is because 44 was in office. So
Mhm.
this is a reaction to Obama. This is
Black
sort of
Blacklash.
yeah, it's blacklash.
Yep.
So we already have a president who is basically saying that he's not going to just up and leave that seat, even if he is voted out.
Mhm.
He's making those political innuendos, if you
Right.
will, and he's also making a lot of noise as it relates to the legitimacy of the voting process.
Right.
So let's just play this out. Let's just say we get to November 4th or 5th or 6th, because they're saying that we may not even know the outcome of the election for about a week or two afterwards. But let's just say we get to the point and it's close, but it's Biden.
Mhm.
Now what? Now what type of reaction are we going to have? I think our political allies are going to celebrate, our
Mhm.
national, international allies, other countries, things of that nature. But
Mhm.
internally
Mhm.
within the United States,
Mhm.
that's That's the $1 million question. What's that reaction going to be like? You know,
Um,
those sort of undercover, covert individuals who are supporting this individual, who were in some cases carrying those tiki torches in Charlottesville. You
mhm,
know, those were professional individuals. Some of
mhm,
them are doctors, some of them are lawyers,
mhm,
some of them run corporations, things of that nature. There
mhm.
is going to be a reaction. The
Yep.
question is, what is it going to be?
Well, I agree with that wholeheartedly, and they've already said it. If we fall out of power, it's going to be hell to pay. What do you do? The only thing you can do is live your life. You live your life the best you can, and you try to move forward. Now, in terms of the administration, it depends. The administration, in my opinion, first thing you should do is all these groups, the Proud Boys and all these, they put them on the list. They're not currently on the list right now. They're not even being viewed as domestic terrorists. They just killed several people, and they're still not on the list. And they're not going to be on the list under this administration because they're his foot soldiers, unfortunately. And but yeah, in terms of the peaceful transfer of power, you don't have a choice. If he's not president no more, they'll get him out of there. I mean, um,
Hey, Chuck, a question. Is the KKK on the list?
I do not know. I don't know.
And
I
they've
don't
been
know. I
they,
think they are. The
and they,
KKK is, but there's so many splinter groups of the
right,
KKK
correct.
that the majority of them, no, they're not on there.
Uh-huh.
The KKK is like, that's just, everything else is the white dragon power, stuff like that.
Right.
You know. Anyway, we're way off topic, man. Anyway, we're passionate about seeing that things get back together. Like Charles. I'm also concerned about what happens in Black America. To circle back around to Charles, what happens, post election, and if it doesn't go well, and not to make this a black or white issue, but I'm Black, and I have concerns about equal treatment in this country. And I think if there's another 4 more years under this administration, given the people that he's been putting in office, we're screwed. Um, so, any thoughts on that, Wayne?
Well, I mean, look, the culture today is way different than it's been in a long time. I think a lot of groups are a lot more open and free to to be who they are. Like Charles, I'm also a registered independent, so
Mhm.
I don't have the ability to be involved in the primaries and all that fun stuff. I just get the general elections. But I think as a Black person, there are some concerns, right? I mean, I know that you made the comment that he's not going to have a choice; he's just going to have to leave.
Well,
We've seen some strange things happen, and so I mean, nothing is automatic with this cat.
yeah,
Like I think in one of the episodes before, I made a comment about just seeing stuff on. I remember when I was younger and I saw stuff on 60 Minutes, and I was like, on a Sunday night, I'm like, oh, there's gonna be hell to pay on Monday, and nothing happens. Like all this crazy stuff, like that. When I heard, I swear to you, I just found out during one of the debates that this dude owes $421 million to unknown parties,
yeah,
and no one's
Right.
dealing with that. Nobody,
right,
like that's
Right.
okay.
yeah,
Someone else made a real quick comment, like many of you guys in the government in the Washington D.C. area, but you may or may not remember at one point I applied for clearance. I was trying to get some contracts with the government and everything, and my credit had to be. I couldn't owe nobody. I had a
yeah.
doctor's bill that was like $225 outstanding. Had to clear all that up. I'm just trying to say, 400. There ain't no questions about $400 million.
Hey,
Yeah,
apparently you'd have been good to go to be president, man.
Damn.
Yeah.
that's it.
I'm just saying. So all I'm trying to tell you, all I'm saying is things ain't normal right now, and things are different, and things that should work a certain way, they ain't always working that way. So I just think I don't think there's a whole lot that'll surprise people, because I don't think there's much that's gonna surprise me.
Yeah, yeah, and that's unfortunate. I mean, we're in a state where nothing shocks us anymore.
It's
It's
crazy.
just It is, man. Speaking of things being crazy and not, just being one-sided, I'll say. Taxes,
Hmm.
yeah, $750 in taxes, and I know how much I paid. So I'm not focusing on the individual in question, but what do we do about corporations not paying taxes, or do you think that's right? Do you think it's fair, or corporations? Is it okay for a corporation like Amazon to pay nothing in
Well,
federal taxes when you have to pay what,
yeah.
2,300 for a family?
Hey, 28% and higher, right? So,
Right.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm not trying to monopolize the time here. I know everybody got
No.
stuff to say, but um,
I don't.
when it comes when it comes to taxes, it's kind of crazy, right? Now, the one thing I will say is, from my understanding, this reduced amount of taxes, or this very small amount of taxes that many of these wealthy people are paying, they're all within the law. They're not breaking the law.
Yeah.
So that says a lot right there, right? That needs to
Yeah,
be
that's what I'm saying.
something done with the law, so
Exactly.
that the person who makes $50,000 a year is paying more than someone who's making billions. That's
Right.
insane. So I mean, there's something wrong there. I mean, it's obviously designed to work this way, but there's
Hmm.
something completely wrong there. But no, I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right at all.
And yeah, and I mean, I just think about, how many things be could have been taken care of. For example, we're always talking about we always seem to find money for war, but we can't find money for the homeless. We can't find money for health care for everyone. Um, and if these corporations, mega businesses, and I'll throw another one out there and ruffle some feathers. I think churches should be paying taxes. I'm sorry. I think mega churches, whatever. I think you should be paying taxes. Um, I mean, there's just so much that could have been done and or avoided, and I really have a problem with the United States spending as much money as we do on military, but we don't take care of our military veterans.
How
Yeah,
about that?
yeah. Steph, what say you on that, man? I'm gonna throw that to your way.
Oh wow. Well, you're absolutely right. We pay lip service to veterans. Now, if you're
Yeah.
fortunate enough to retire,
Lip
that's
service. Damn.
Wow.
yes. Wow. Wow. That's an inside joke. I didn't even throw that out there. But anyway, um, you know, we if you're fortunate enough to retire like myself, then I get benefits. I get retiree benefits. But if
Mhm.
you're a guy that's done 4 years or maybe 8 years and got out, and you don't have anything to fall back on, then basically the VA may give you medicine. They may not.
Mhm.
They surely not going to worry about you having housing. And it's a lot of things that um, the VA kind of says they're doing, but they're not.
Mhm.
And a lot of guys that are homeless in DC are probably veterans at one time. And it's a crying shame. But to go back to the discussion with taxpayers and the fact that corporations are getting around it, that is a policy issue. That's the laws have to be changed so
Right.
that they can't skip over. Jeff Bezos can't make $13 billion in 15 minutes and not pay at least 1 or 2 billion out of that profit towards his taxes. It's amazing. So it's really, once we kind of balance out both House as well as the Senate and make some, have some bipartisanship and make some policy changes, then we'll start taxing the rich, and maybe we can start working on our infrastructure, our healthcare, our college student loan debt, things of that nature. But it's got
Mhm.
to be a policy change.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Mike, what's going on for you?
Yep.
Anything locally going on up around your way regarding the
No,
election?
I don't think I should be. Yeah, I don't think I should be paying taxes if I got to carry 15 bags of mulch to the car, from the car to the yard.
Yeah, because you're
I don't
doing
think I should be able to pay taxes.
because you're trying to beautify, you're trying to raise the property value of your neighborhood, right, Mike?
Man, listen,
Write it off. There you
I'm
go.
tired. I'm tired of the mule in the Grand Canyon. That's all I'm saying.
A mule in the Grand Canyon. Lord. Oh man.
But no, nothing that I know of right now, man. But I'll get back to you on that, brother. Thank you for asking.
Got you. All right. So moving forward, man, what are we expecting out of whatever administration takes over next? What should we look forward? What should we be asking for? Let's go with you, Charles. What should we be asking for?
Oh gosh, man. Um, First and foremost, we need to ask that that the country, in some way, shape, or form, be unified,
Mm,
because there's so much political divide, so much social divide, so much unrest that's taking place, that there needs to be a reckoning towards that, because we are in the process of literally destroying this country by
mhm,
the division that's taking place.
yeah.
It's already been spoken about on this podcast where things aren't going well with our political allies internationally, but with so much divide taking place internally, I'm just afraid that we haven't even scratched the surface of some of the things that could take place. Um, we're looking for I mean, we're talking about militia groups,
Yeah.
guys, that are popping up left and right within the United States of America.
Hmm.
Everything that we do, everything that we say is politicized. Think about this for a second. Um, Black Lives Matter
Hmm.
should be common sense, right? But that is a political statement. Um, Background checks for gun ownership should be common sense.
Hmm.
It's politics. A woman's right to choose.
Hmm.
Paper versus plastic. You know what I'm saying? Everything that we do, everything that we talk about it's ridiculous that it's politicized, man.
Hmm.
So somehow, some way, whoever wins this election has got to speak to the American people and not just their base, and try to bring all of us together
Hmm.
to move us forward, and so that we can regain the traction that we've had worldwide. Because I think right now, the last few years especially has made us a laughing stock worldwide. And we just need to, reclaim our position as the
Hmm.
great United States of America. And we can't do that with all the division that's taking place. We have to be unified in order to rise up collectively.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. Anybody else? Stefan?
They. I think the biggest challenge that we have here is, and I'll be blunt with this. White Americans don't listen. They listen. They listen to respond. They don't listen to hear and understand.
Mm,
Where am I going with this? We have in the black community we have a saying unapologetically black, right?
mhm,
Daggone it, if I don't have a former boss of mine that just put on his Facebook page unapologetically American, you're not listening.
yeah.
You're not listening. Granted, I'm proud to be American. I served, but at the
Hmm.
same time, you know, me, a black guy, we still have issues.
Hmm.
And it's not like you know, um, we're not willing to work with you, but hey, guys, you got to listen. So, like Charles said, we got to come together, and if we don't, I'm not sure if the United States of America is going to be around in the next 10 years or 20 years because we're just going to dissolve or kill ourselves in the process.
Well, the one way to take down anything or to destroy anything is to do it from inside.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
and you know, that's truthfully, the United States of America has built up its might to the point that it doesn't have to do shit to anybody. We don't have to point a weapon. We don't have to do anything. We have media the world to death. The media has successfully fought a lot of battles for us. Um, you know, the media is to me is good and bad. For example, I am guilty. I'm a kid. I'm a '60s, '70s kid. I grew up on Tarzan and all that, and the only thing I knew about Africa was, uh, you know, we were savages. We lived in huts and all this other stuff. And can any of you honestly say, growing up, that on TV you saw uh, a true depiction of Africa. I only learned in the last 10 years how beautiful Africa was, and industrialized nation and skyscrapers and all kinds of stuff. So the media plays a lot of part in what we see and how we're groomed and socialized and stuff, unfortunately. um so, and that's another thing, the media. How is the media played into this whole division and politics and all that? The media used to be, trusted by the people, and in the last couple of years, they've been touted as fake news. Can we trust the media anymore? What do you guys think about that, Wayne?
We recently did a show on the media, and from my opinion, no, you can't trust the media. Depending on what station you're listening to, depending on who's giving you the news, they're telling you what they want you to hear. They're telling you what you want to believe. I believe a lot of it's propaganda. They want to give you information so that you believe a certain way without doing your own analysis and research. So,
Right.
do I think we can trust No, I don't. I think there's people out there that believe what they're saying to be true. But there's a bunch of liars out there too.
Mhm. Charles, what do you think?
I pretty much agree with what he said. There was actually a report that just came out from U.S. News and World Report, and it talked about, it ranked all the countries in the world based on political stability. Okay, the most stable countries in the world. The United States of America doesn't even crack the top 10 right now.
Wow.
Which is absolutely bananas to me.
Mm.
So that to me says it all. And it's all about partisanship. You watch CNN, you watch Fox News, you're going to get two extreme sides of
That's
the universe.
That's
And our political environment has, well, pretty much the press has followed the political environment. And really a lot of this dates back, in my opinion, to Newt Gingrich. When he became Speaker of the House back in the 90s, he entered into this contract with America. And one of the things that he did as the lead Republican in power was that every time a Republican crossed party lines and voted with something that the Democrats put forward, he waged war against members of his own party. And so before Newt Gingrich came into office, it was not uncommon for you to have 97 votes for Democrat, 96 votes for Republican. You know what I'm saying? It was like there was a balance. People were voting on both sides of the aisle. It didn't matter who put forth the bill. There was support from both sides of the aisle that was happening. But when Newt came into office and he started basically force feeding that agenda and literally waging war against members of his own party to help vote them out if they cross party lines, that's when a lot of this extremism came into play. That's when it became vogue. And that's when you saw the emergence of Fox News and things of that nature. And all of that, in my opinion, dates back to that particular time period. And that's what we see today.
That sounds about right. I think that's back in there when Bork was in there, who was a warmonger, and all that whole that makes sense. And I think that's right around the time that I just started really even considering politics and stuff like that. So, all right, cool. Well, it's nice to know that we're all engaged and involved in the process. Unfortunately, we have people that aren't engaged or involved in the process, and unfortunately, we're going to have some people that are not going to show up at the polls this year, which we believe is part of the problem for the last election.
Hey,
People.
just real quick.
Yes, sir.
100 million people failed to vote in the last presidential election.
Yes, sir.
Just let that marinate. 100 million people. Absolutely ridiculous.
Well, let this marinate also, because I believe that that's close to the number that the bottom line is, obviously, if they had that number, then the other candidate would have won. Although the other candidate won, I'm just saying, won a popular vote. Anyway, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Where was I going down the road, guys? Anyway, let's we're gonna wrap it up, man. We're gonna come to the end of this thing, man, because we can go on all day talking about politics because it affects all of us, you know. And again, for those of you out there that are, watching or listening, um, it vote. That's the long and short of it. Vote. I
Sir.
mean, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who you vote for. Vote your interest. Okay. But the bottom line is exercise your right to vote. It is a right. Okay. And like Charles said, we did have people that didn't vote last time. For those of you that didn't vote last time, we encourage you to your vote does matter. It does, man. If you don't think so, it does. But even if you don't think your vote matters, encourage that young person that's voting for the first time, by your action. Have encourage somebody to get involved in the process. It's that important. And if you don't believe it's that important, turn on the news. Okay. So if no one else has anything else, we're gonna I think we're gonna close this thing out.
Hey, Chuck, if I could just say something real quick.
Yes, sir.
I want to just follow up on what you just said, encourage everyone to vote. It's very important. Be a part of the process. Vote your interests. My daughter is 20, so this is her first
All right.
opportunity to vote. And she said to me, she doesn't like either of the candidates. I said, get used to it, honey.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna take all the picks with her, the daddy, the first picks voting.
I don't think I'm invited. That's another story for another podcast.
I got you. All right, brother. All right. Well, anyway, this has been Just Be a Man. We appreciate you guys tuning in and hanging out with us. You can find us across all of your social media platforms, Spreaker. You know what? I was on Alexa the other day, and I just said, Alexa, play Just Be a Man. Man, we're there, guys. All you gotta do is call our name. All right. But anyway, thanks for hanging out. Just Be a Man. I'm Chuck. We out.
Show up on the bad days. Deuces.
What was that?